Alright. So, it's, it's the mumbo jumbo style command creation thing again. It's time for that. Basically, if you don't know what I mean, it's kind of like Mumbo's random videos where he just creates redstone contraptions not knowing if they're even possible. That's kind of what I'm doing right now. Except with the clock, I actually kind of had a little idea as to what I would be able to do. With this, I honestly don't even know where to start. And leak time, okay? Leak time. This is going to be a system for 99 Network Season 3. That's kind of why I'm doing it. But hopefully I can get this to work because I would actually really love to see this on the Realm. And I'm sure a lot of you would too, once you know what it is. But if I can't do it, I just can't do it. Although I think I do not have an idea. I don't know where to start with this. So let's just get into it. So, as you can tell, I got a lot of stuff in my hotbar ready to go. This is basically just stuff, like, this is basically every possible thing that I might need for this. Yes, I even have an armor stand. Because who knows, for all I know, I might need an entity for this, and armor stands are perfect for that kind of thing. And then for a name, because I probably will need to rename it, I'll just do daily sequence. But I think with that, it's about time I explained what I'm trying to do here. And you probably could already tell from the title, unless this video doesn't go up. In which case, if it is up, then I probably did create this thing. So, yeah. Okay. So basically what I want to do is create a kind of daily reward system. So, you know how, like, Mineplex has that Carl the Creeper thing? That, like, every day you can get a daily reward and you have a streak, and the higher your streak is, the better rewards you get from the daily thing. That's kind of what I want to do here. And I want it, except I don't want it to be every 24 hours because let's say you do it, let's say you do the daily reward, you claim it 1 minute before the next day starts. And then, so 24 hours pass, and then the thing resets and you're able to claim it again. But by the time you get on and are able to claim your reward again, it's already the next day and you've lost your streak, and that's just unfair. So, I'm thinking maybe 20 hours, because that's a pretty good time. Like, that's a decent enough time to be able to get back on and claim your thing. So, the heck? Okay, so I'm gonna start. I'm gonna start by adding a scoreboard, because I know for a fact that if I expect to do something that involves seconds, it's going to involve a repeating command block with something that adds 1 to a scoreboard every second, or 1 to a scoreboard every hour or something. Wait, scoreboard objectives add. I'll just say seconds. Dummy. Okay. And then I'll put that on the side just so I can see what's happening. There we go. Now it's on the side right there. Okay. So, let's do the maths real quick. So, 20 hours. That's what I want the time to be to reset. So, I'm thinking, okay, so we have to do maths. We have to do big brain math here. Quick maths. So, that would just simply be 60 times 60. which would be an hour, times 20. So 60 times 60 is 3,600. 3,600 times 20 is 72,000. So 72,000 seconds has to pass by before this thing does another thingamabob. I'm out of words, if you couldn't tell already. Okay, that seems to be working perfectly. I've got my armor stand with the daily sequence tag, so we can just put those two off to the side, and yep, we've got our seconds running. This is the command if anyone wants to quickly pause the video and take a screenshot or something. The delay has to be 20 because 1 second in real life is 20 ticks in game. So, yeah. Okay. Now I've got to think of how to make it so that it resets for every single player at the same time without everyone having to log on. Be logged on, because obviously there can only be 10 players at max on a realm, 11 plus the owner, and if I'm making the system for a realm as big as 99 Network, there's obviously going to be a lot more people than that. So, this, yeah, if you couldn't already tell, this is going to be the trickiest part. Well, I guess first of all, what we would have to do is actually make the thing for the daily streak. So I set the display to be in the pause menu because we've already got the seconds running over there. And these two command blocks, this one is to add 0 to the daily streak scoreboard for all the players, because it turns out you actually, if you don't do this, then the scores for players by default will just be null, and null and 0 are different things in this scenario. So it can the scoreboard stuff can work with 0, but it can't work with null, because null is literally just, in this case, it's nothing. So you gotta make sure that you're adding 0, because that, basically what that does is that just makes it so that the players have the scoreboard and that the system can work with their scoreboards. And then this one is just for the armor stand. So anyway, back to thinking. I've done it. I've come up with a concept. All right, I've come up with it. So basically, as you can see, I've added these 3 commands here, not ideas. But I have an idea. You can kind of see it already. But if you can tell here, I've added 2 more scoreboards. I've added Streak Equality and Streak Equality 2. And you'll understand why I need 2 of them in a second. But basically, I'll do this thing with the armor stand, right? So it turns out I don't actually need this streak thing, but I'll keep it up just in case, because I might be wrong. Because this, as I said before, I'll say it now, it's very experimental. I don't even know if I'm going to be able to do this in the end. But, you never know until you try. So anyway, basically, this command block, so, of course, when we get to 72,000, we need it to do something, right? And this is kind of the sequence that does that. So basically right here, what this command block does is that once the armor stand hits 72,000 seconds, it adds 1 to the first streak equality scoreboard. And honestly, this last one can go anywhere, so I'm just going to show it now. We'll add 1 to the streak equality 2 as well. And then after it adds 1 to either the first one or the second one, doesn't really matter, but I just put it in the middle. Then, of course, it needs to reset the seconds. So once this command block basically just says once it reaches 72,000 seconds, it sets it back to 0. So I got a big brain idea here. Big brain. Very big brain. And as you can tell, what's that? Like, like about 12 or 13 minutes. Yeah, I've been at this for a while. I've been putting a lot of brain juice into this. um so basically we need to do something to where you can claim the daily reward, and when you claim the daily reward, then you will add 1 to your own streak equality scoreboards. And basically, what I'm trying to do here, or no, so what you would do is you would get, you would add 1, or no, you would set your streak equality to the armor stand streak equality. And there actually is a way to do that, which you'll probably see in the near future, in probably 5 minutes or so. But it's very important that the second one doesn't get set to the other one. Instead, the second one has to get set to 0. And basically, my concept is essentially trying to find a way to test if 2 scoreboards are equal to each other. And that's why I have 2. Streak equality 1, streak equality 2. So the way I will do this is with the streak equality 1, that actually doesn't really do much. That's just an indicator for humans. But streak equality 2 is the one that really matters. So basically, once you claim your daily reward, then the streak equality 2 for the armor stand will get set to 0. Or no, streak equality 2, yeah, there will only be 1 streak equality 2. But streak equality 1 there will be infinite of, as many players as there needs to be. But streak equality 2 is just 1 scoreboard, and that is the scoreboard that tests. I've done it, boys and girls and non-gender people. I've done it. Now, this thing is lower than the time you last saw it, and that's because I've been testing, like, if the day were to pass on, and obviously, now we know it does reset the way it's supposed to. But as you can tell, there's definitely a lot more command blocks than there were last time you saw me. And I've actually completely redone what I'm planning to do with the thing. The system's done now. I've actually created a working daily reward system. But it took me longer than I'm willing to admit, but that's fine. So this is the new player system. You will need a scoreboard that detects if someone has joined for the first time in order for this to work. But, that's fine. It can, honestly, it can give you an excuse to create something like this, which is definitely what I'm gonna make on 99 Network. Because, it's always cool to see when someone logs in for their very first time and someone's starting a new adventure. Anyways, so, of course, you gotta have this thing. You gotta have that for every scoreboard. Well, not every, but for this new player thing, of course you have to. And then for this command, that basically just makes it so that I added 2 new scoreboards. I removed the streak equality and streak equality 2 and replaced them with days past and days past det, which stands for days past determined. And days past is basically, like when another day comes and like the system resets. So basically it's making it so that your amount of days past is equal to the armor stand's days past, which basically, so then that would set the days past det to 0. Yeah, and so now well, then what that would do is it would, the problem with that is it would make it so that the daily past debt would be 0, and if it were 0, let me find it. All right, yeah. So this is the one that tests for 0. Basically, if it's 0, then that means you're at the same day, you're caught up with the system. Basically, it means you've already claimed your daily reward. So the system will think that you've already claimed your daily reward, even though you've literally never played on the realm before. So to fix that, you just simply add another command block that just simply removes 1 from that number, and then that'll fix the whole thing. And then this is my optional thing that I did that I'm going to do for 99 Network, and then obviously, since you don't want them to be a new player forever, that last command block sets the new player to 1, so that it no longer detects them having new player 0. So that's the new player system. For this, I simply changed this thing to days past 1, and reset that. There's also this thing. Oh, I actually don't need that. Yeah, that was when I was experimenting with another scoreboard called Days Past Car. But I ended up not needing that scoreboard, so yeah. So these are just simply to change the sidebar to days past, seconds, and days past debt or determined. This thing, so a redstone block would go here, and this is the command block that would set it to error. You have a little bit of delay so that the system has enough time to react. And then this is where the daily streak comes in. I just said for anyone who doesn't have a streak yet, give them an apple. For someone who has a streak of 1, or a daily streak of 1, give them 16 stone. I went up to 3. So daily streak of 2, give them 4 iron. Give anyone with a daily streak of 3, 2 diamonds, and that's where it stops. And the last 2 command blocks are to add 1 to the daily streak, of course, because to advance the whole thing, and then make it so that their operator or their day past count is equal to the armor stands. And basically the reason we want it so that it equals the armor stand scoreboard, kind of like the thing I was explaining earlier. Here, let me just, so this whole system, because of that command block, activates whenever a person is near this button, or a button would be there if the thing was ready. But what this does, this command block, it sets the day past debt to 0, because if we didn't do that, then the numbers would go up every single time you stepped in and out and in and out, and then the numbers would go up like crazy, and that would mess the whole system up. So you gotta reset it, keep that in mind, very important. Then you do the first operation, which makes it so that the armor stand's day past determined. By the way, the armor stand has to have that scoreboard, not you. The day past determined scoreboard, the value of it gets added from 0 to whatever the armor stand's day past value is. And there's a second one, which takes the value of the player's day past value and subtracts it from the days past determined scoreboard, and that gives you a number which will either be 0, 1, or anything above 2. That's how the system considers it. Now, if it's 0, you've already seen, that obviously means that the armor stand, or that you have already caught up with your daily reward, so it will display that message, and then set the button coordinates to air so that you can't press it and go again, because that would abuse the system. And then I think this one tests if the days past determined scoreboard is 1, and basically if it's 1, that means your daily reward is ready. So as you can see, it'll scan, it becomes 1, and it says my daily reward is available, and the button comes up. And I also made it so that with this thing right here, I made it so that if the player goes away, it sets the thing back to air so that you don't quickly run up and press the button. That would also be a loophole. But yeah, so here's the message that you saw, and then this one sets the button. And then this last one is 2 or higher. And basically the reason we have that is because obviously if it's a daily reward and we're doing a streak, then what happens if you miss a day? Obviously your streak would have to reset, right? So this is where this last line comes in. Basically, if the total days passed since, basically think of this as like the total days since you've done, like since you've claimed your reward. So like if it's 1 day, obviously you're ready to claim it again. If it's 0, then it's too quick. But if it's 2 or more, then that means you've lost your streak, right? So this command, tests for if the armor stand has if the days past determined thing has a score of 2 or above, and that will test if it renders true, that means you've lost your streak. So here's the thing, which I will actually test in a second. Your daily reward is available, but you lost your streak. And then it resets your streak, and then sets the stone button. Because, again, you're still able to claim it, because it's been more than 1 day. So you're still able to get it, but it's just you lost your streak, so that's why it has to be something different. And then this is just the scanning daily reward stats that you saw earlier. And yep, so without further ado, alright, so my daily reward is ready right now. I will claim it. And so this sets the redstone block over there. That TPs me away so that I don't continue pressing the buttons, that it disappears. So I had a daily streak of 0, so I only got the apple this time. But my daily streak did increase to 1. However, since it's the same day, if I try to go up to it again, you have already claimed your reward today, come back tomorrow. Okay? So then this is what we do. So currently, it's the same. But if the armor stand scoreboard is higher than mine, then I can claim it again. So I'll simply do this. Seconds. And boop, there we go. Now I should be able to claim it again. Boom. And this time I should get 16 stone because my streak increased. Indeed. Okay. So now let's say the scoreboard players set at S days past 0. Now obviously if I'm a new player, then my scoreboard wouldn't have had the time to be on the realm to increase. So this is where the new player scoreboard comes in. I'm going to give myself the new player status again. Set at S new player 0. Zorken2 just logged into 99 Network Season 3 for the first time. And it doesn't set my streak to 0, but then again, if you're a new player, you wouldn't have had a streak before. So that doesn't really matter too much. And as you can see, it is 1 below the armor stand, which is exactly what we want. So, bam. I should get the iron. Yeah, okay. So now you're like, okay, Zorkan, that's cool and all, but you still haven't tested if you lost your streak. And that is what I'm going to do right now. Okay? Your daily reward is available, but you lost your streak. And if we look, my streak is now 0 again. And I only get the apple now. So, there you have it. That is a daily reward system in vanilla Minecraft. Hope you all enjoyed this video. Hope you all found it very helpful, because I, for one, found it extremely helpful. Do mind, though, this is this does take a lot of command blocks, and it is probably going to create lag. And keep in mind, of course, you can go as high as you want with the daily streaks, and you can do whatever you want. In fact, for the daily reward, you don't even have to give them anything. You could do a separate command, like slash fill, like you could do a weird slash fill command just from a daily reward. You could literally do any command that exists. But of course, you know, more commands equals more lag, so just keep that in mind. Yeah. Thank you all for watching. I know I've already said that. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a like, and you know what? 10 likes? No, not that's too much. I'm gonna go 5 likes, because 5 likes seems to be a realistic goal for me. 5 likes, and I will tutorialize something else that is gonna be a system on 99 Network Season 3. And also, by the way, very, very important thing to note. The release date got extended again to June 25th due to some admins having IRL problems with their schedules and stuff like that. So June 25th, everyone, mark your calendars. That is the official release date of Season 3. It's not June 23rd anymore, although it would be pretty cool if it was, because the Nether update, as it turns out now, is coming out right then. But yeah, June 25th, that is the final extension. We're not going to do any more. We've agreed that we have all agreed that is going to be the final postpone. We're not going to do any more. June 25th is the final date. And with that being said, see you all in the next video. Peace. Oh, also, I think it's worth mentioning, yes, this is very, very revolutionary to Minecraft, just like my anti-cheat thing was. So, if you take credit for this, or at least, you know, like, if you claim that you came up with this system yourself, you're gonna have a bad day. Okay, bye now.